Welcome, viewers. Today we explore the terrifying secrets of our ancient human history. For years, people truly believed the glorious Maya Empire was abducted by space aliens, or perhaps consumed by a sudden devastation, erasing countless citizens overnight. But modern science finally reveals a historical truth far more terrifying than magic. They engineered their own brutal ecological ruin. Let us uncover how they fell. In the year 800 AD, the Maya civilization reached its absolute peak of power. Deep inside the dense tropical rainforest, hundreds of massive supercities proudly stood tall. Tikal and Copan emerged as glorious capitals, housing tens of millions of thriving people. They constructed gigantic limestone pyramids that pierced the green canopy of the heavy jungle. Brilliant white stone highways connected the sprawling urban centers, bustling with wealthy merchants. Highly advanced terraced farming systems provided endless food for the rapidly growing empire. Divine kings, adorned in precious green jade and bright feathers, ruled with absolute authority. According to ancient records, these supreme rulers were seen as living gods walking on the earth. High priests led elaborate rituals to maintain cosmic balance and ensure fertile soil. The majestic cities echoed with rhythmic drum beats and the joyful sounds of endless festivals. No foreign enemy had the military strength to threaten this massive civilization. They stood at the absolute pinnacle of human achievement in the ancient American world. Their brilliant astronomers mapped the stars with shocking precision, inventing the concept of zero. Giant stone monuments, carved with complex hieroglyphs, documented their glorious history. The ruling elite wore stunning jade ornaments and magnificent Quetzal feather headdresses. Citizens thrived in the bustling plazas, trading precious obsidian and fine woven cotton. They believed their grand empire would last for eternity, protected by powerful nature gods. The sprawling cities looked like glittering jewels hidden within the endless emerald jungle. Thousands of skilled workers continuously expanded the impressive royal palace compounds. Vibrant red cinnabar paint covered the sacred temples, glowing intensely under the blazing sun. Life seemed perfect, carefully balanced by religious devotion and agricultural mastery. However, this shining facade hid a terrifying structural flaw that was slowly developing. The population expanded far beyond what the fragile tropical environment could handle. To feed the hungry millions, vast sections of ancient forests were aggressively chopped down. Massive areas of land were completely stripped bare to create more space for planting essential corn. Yet food was not the only reason for this relentless ecological destruction. The god kings grew increasingly obsessed with displaying their immense wealth and divine supreme power. They fiercely competed against rival cities by constructing astonishingly huge monuments. To produce the smooth white stucco that coated every single pyramid, they needed burnt limestone. It took 20 tons of freshly cut green wood to burn and produce just 1 ton of white plaster. Armies of exhausted laborers worked day and night, carrying heavily loaded stones across the land. The frantic pace of building consumed natural resources at a truly terrifying rate. As the grand cities expanded outward, The protective green canopy was brutally ripped away. By 820 AD, the lush tropical paradise became an endless, barren wasteland. The kings lost their minds, blindly ignoring the obvious ecological disaster unfolding. They foolishly believed that building more temples would definitely force the angry rain gods to weep. Huge columns of thick, black smoke constantly choked the skies as farmers desperately slashed and burned. The scorching sun beat down upon the exposed limestone, dramatically raising temperatures. Without the dense, cooling forests, the crucial rain clouds simply stopped forming over the massive cities. If you were a king facing the silent doom, would you stop building or pray harder to the mighty gods? The Maya rulers chose poorly. They doubled down, demanding even larger stone pyramids. Sweaty, malnourished workers dragged giant stones until their blistered hands completely gave out from pain. The air grew extremely dry, and the vibrant rivers began shrinking into muddy, lifeless puddles. Nature's ecological boundary was violently stretched to its absolute breaking point. Yet the relentless drums of the royal ceremonies continued beating in the dusty wind. The Grand Empire was unknowingly operating on borrowed time, consuming its vital essence. Entire hillsides collapsed from severe erosion, washing away the fertile topsoil forever. Crop yields plummeted rapidly, leaving the immense urban populations hungry, weak, and anxious. Cracks began to form, not just in the drying mud, but deeply within the rigid social structure. High priests desperately offered more crimson offerings, hoping the silent heavens would answer.
Do not forsake your people.
But the sky remained a harsh, cloudless blue, punishing the arrogant builders with relentless heat. Records show the rulers became highly tyrannical as the tragic crisis escalated. They demanded more tribute from the starving peasants, sparking quiet whispers of a fierce uprising.
We cannot go on.
The mighty machine of the Maya civilization was effectively grinding its gears to dust. Massive reservoirs, built to hold millions of gallons, slowly evaporated into nothing. The delicate balance between human ambition and Mother Nature was permanently broken. The very stones they worshipped were now baking the air, sealing their miserable, thirsty fate. Even the mighty kings could not command the rain, exposing their absolute mortal weakness to all. The glorious sound of the cities shifted from joyful celebrations to terrible groans of need. People looked anxiously at the silent temples, but the divine rulers had totally no answers. Blind arrogance and the foolish pursuit of endless growth triggered a massive global catastrophe. Surrounding jungles, once a generous source of rich life, became a hostile and suffocating prison. It is recorded that several ambitious building projects were suddenly halted right in their tracks. The tools were dropped in the dust, the heavy stones abandoned halfway up the steep, majestic stairs. A terrifying shift was approaching, one that would permanently erase this mighty empire. The tipping point arrived not with an explosion, but with a horrifying heavy silence. By the late 9th century, a chilling and absolute silence suddenly fell on the region. Millions of people seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving their magnificent cities empty. The constant, rhythmic beating of the ceremonial drums stopped, replaced only by the howling wind. How does an empire of millions simply evaporate without leaving massive burial grounds? Scientists found sprawling urban centers totally abandoned, with partially carved stones left behind. The royal scribe suddenly stopped carving the sacred dates onto the monumental stone pillars. Time itself appeared to permanently freeze inside these once bustling and mighty kingdoms. There was totally no evidence of a foreign invasion or a catastrophic pandemic. Instead, the terrified survivors fled deep into the jungle, abandoning their cursed homes. Without human maintenance, the aggressive forest quickly reclaimed the massive territory. Giant strangler-fig roots slithered over the magnificent white stones like terrifying green snakes. Thick layers of damp green moss entirely covered the beautiful faces of the divine kings. The brilliant, towering monuments were violently choked and swallowed whole by relentless nature. This silent disappearance fueled wild conspiracy theories for generations to come. Some foolishly claimed that powerful alien spacecraft came down and rescued the population. Others believed an evil dark magic had cursed the land, instantly turning the citizens to dust. The ghostly shadows of the fleeing refugees totally vanished into the shadows of history. For centuries, the stunning ruins lay hidden in the dark, tightly guarding their terrifying secret. The glorious palaces became lonely stone tombs, mourning the gigantic loss of human life. The once busy white stone highways were deeply buried under thick layers of rotting vegetation. No chants, no drums, no footsteps broke the overwhelming quiet of the conquered, sprawling metropolis. Nature had fiercely reclaimed her stolen land, burying human arrogance under a blanket of green. It was as if the mighty Maya Empire was simply an illusion, a dream quickly forgotten. Modern archaeology eventually pierced the jungle canopy to reveal the dark truth. The grim reality left in the cracked earth paints a devastating picture of total destruction. The Maya were not victims of magic forces, but the ultimate architects of their very own doom. The mystery of their sudden disappearance is no longer a blank space in our history book. By examining the dried lake beds, scientists unlocked the chilling tale of their agonizing days. The terrifying answer lies within the fatal consequences of extreme nature abuse. The massive deforestation violently altered the entire local climate system. Without the huge ancient trees drawing deep water, the crucial rainfall completely stopped falling. A devastating mega-drought severely struck the heavily populated region. For over an entire century, the merciless sun constantly baked the cracking, muddy earth. The massive sacred cenotes, their primary water source, rapidly dried into deep dust. Once beautiful terraced farms quickly turned into barren and terrifying wastelands. Absolute starvation aggressively gripped the remaining terrified population. Extremely desperate mothers watched helplessly as their crying babies slowly perished of thirst. The once divine kings suddenly lost their supreme spiritual authority completely. Hungry citizens openly rebelled against the useless, failing royal leadership. The glittering jade ornaments meant absolutely nothing in a world totally without food. Neighboring cities aggressively turned against each other in brutal and ruthless wars. Vicious warriors brutally fought to control the very last remaining muddy puddles. Heavy obsidian clubs mercilessly shattered skulls over tiny drops of dirty water. The once pristine white stone plazas were now violently painted with thick and horrific crimson stains. Burning cities sent massive columns of toxic, dark smoke into the unforgiving sky. This was not an honorable, noble war, but a pathetic, feral struggle to survive. A deeply tragic collapse, entirely engineered by their own arrogant, careless hands. The surviving population simply abandoned the massive, dying urban centers. They walked away, leaving their glorious, monumental architecture to slowly decay. The incredibly majestic empire had finally consumed itself completely from within. Their once mighty civilization collapsed quietly into the unforgiving wilderness. The sprawling supercities were gradually swallowed by the aggressive green jungle. The final desperate Mayan king perished, helplessly surrounded by his shattered kingdom. Without the dense human population, the resilient forest slowly began to heal. However, the horrifying historical scars remained permanently carved into the stone. The incredible Maya people never fully vanished, but their golden era ended. They simply scattered, surviving quietly in much smaller, rural communities. Their tragic story remains a terrifying mirror, reflecting our modern society. We are currently repeating the exact same dangerous mistakes of extreme deforestation. Our modern cities confidently expand, relentlessly consuming massive resources. We continuously push the delicate nature boundary to the absolute edge. The terrifying collapse of Tikal perfectly demonstrates that nature always wins the war. All our advanced technology cannot suddenly produce rain when the ancient forests perish. We must deeply respect the environment, or face the tragic destiny of the Maya. The grand majestic pyramids now silently watch us, offering a grim, final warning. The devastating ecological ruin of the Maya is a lesson we cannot ignore. The collapse of the Maya stands as a chilling warning about the fragile limits of nature. Was their downfall a tragic natural disaster, or pure human greed? Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this dark historical journey, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.